This new album is varied and its proposal, but maintains the Zeal Ardor spirit in each song. But perhaps, is it the most suitable for metalheads?
It's hard for me to say because I'm in the middle of it and I have no objectivism anymore. So I think we will find out very soon. Maybe people will hate it, maybe not. So time will tell.
If I had to highlight two songs, they would be I Called You and J and B. But above all, I would be Feed the Machine. What would be your favorite song of your new record?
I like those one also, but I think maybe Death to the Holy, because for me it is like Zeal Ardor, zip or rar, like very shortened and condensed. It's all that we are as a band, but in 3.5 minutes. Yeah.
We're taking our conversation about Trump and his madness. The song "Hold Your Head Low." What's the message behind this song?
The song is about humility and shame to a certain degree, but I think there's a lot of, in metal, there's a lot of like, you can do it and you're the best and you know, that sort of thing. And there's not enough, you should think about what you've done and maybe reflect. And that was the intention with that song, at least.
Talking about your lyrics are the result of current reality. But what difference are there between what you wanted to convey with each of your albums? What the evolution of your message during in your records?
So there's like a overlaying narrative. So the first album is about life as a slave. The second is about breaking out. And this one is about what comes next. What do we do with this freedom? So it's about, you know, self-reflection, hope, and immersion, stuff like that.
And talking about your last record and his message, what is the main message that would you like fans to take home after listening to this record?
It's hard for me to say because I don't want the listener to have my opinion in their head. I want them to have their own vision of it. But for me, it's about being hopeful, but still being reflected about yourself. It's just music, you know. It's every time that a musician says, well, it's about hope, it's about dreams, it's still just songs, I know, but to me it's that.
Yes, it's just music, but in cases of your band, it's more than music, because many people understand you have a message and you have a lessons in your albums.
Yes, but I also see it's dangerous, you know, because I'm famous for music, but because of that, people take my opinion in politics more seriously, which is bizarre, you know? It doesn't make any sense. And that's why I'm very, very cautious with that.
It's more than have your own opinion, not mine, no?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's talk about music. The adjective that comes to my mind when I listen to your music is intensity. What adjective would you use to define your music?
I would say the same thing, because if you make a song that is a little bit sad, a little bit happy, no one's gonna care. So if you go for very sad and depressed or obviously joyful, that's when it deserves attention, in my opinion. Of course, you know, you can have bossa nova that's just, it's fine, it's in the background, but I enjoy real intensity. So I agree with that adjective.
As a frontman, you are evolving so fast. What singers do you have as a reference when you go out on a stage?
I like Tom Waits a lot. Mike Patton and Björk.
weird.
Oh, yeah. It's just people who go their own way, and that's something I really admire.
I
Yeah.
try to imagine you on a stage with dresses of Björk.
Maybe. I don't think I have the budget, but one day.
Your vocal capacity is very interesting. Says you jump from clear and sweet register to guttural and raw ones. Is there a lot of work behind this, or is it something natural in your voice?
Oh, there's a lot of work. Because I didn't have voice training or something. It's just something that I had to figure out and try experimenting with myself. And as a result, I lost like almost an octave of high register because I used to do it really wrong. So I learned my lesson. Shit,
Okay.
yeah.
After several years of the release of Devil is Fine, what remains of that Zeal Ardor right now in 2022?
Honestly, I don't know. What our plans are, or what remains?
No, I try to know at your starting with Devil is Fine, what remains of the spirit of Devil is Fine right now in your next album?
I think the atmosphere is something that I carry over. It's like because I talked about Tom Waits. You can listen to any song of his. In 3 seconds, you're like transported to Tom Waits land with this, you know, it's like his world. And that is what I'm trying to copy and trying to keep. I don't know if it worked, but that was the idea.
I think it's the same situation with your new album. I listened to it today, and I feel the same situation. I feel that I am listening to a new album of Zeal Ardor because yes, it's, for me was no another one option. I started to listen. I said, oh yes, Zeal Ardor, but it's different.
That's exactly what we try to do. I'm so happy to hear that.
um, I have a question about Wake of a Nation. It seems that album was the result of anger and social situation of the moment, more than a meditated or calculated album. Do you coincide with this analysis?
Yes. And it's also, we wanted to isolate those songs because it's so direct. There's no abstraction, it's clear what it's about. So yeah, there was not exactly no meditation on it. It was just what was on my mind. I was worried about my family in the US. You know, are they in danger? Are they going to be okay? And that's where that came from.
Yes. From a social and political point of view, do you feel many difference between Europe and the United States?
It's getting less, man. It's getting smaller and smaller, and it scares me. You know, if you look at Poland, what is happening there, Germany, and, you know, people going more extreme ways because of the pandemic. It's, you know, the two sides are just growing out and out. And what I also noticed is back when we were young, or when I was young, to be counterculture or to be a rebel was to be leftist, like punk or something like that. But now what is, you know, rebellious for teenagers is to be far right. And that is very worrisome to me. That scares me.
Yes, you have a reason, because we are in Spain, we have a political party that focuses on far right, and they are increasing their influence on the social, on the people, and also on the political. And for me, it's totally incredible, and I am also scared as you.
Yeah, it's a global thing now, and that's yeah, it worries me. Shit.
If you have to choose, do you prefer to be successful with being happy with your music, or vice versa?
Being happy with my music?
No,
or
it's totally different.
ah.
Be famous and don't be happy with your music, or the other option.
Oh
You
yeah,
what do you-
obscurity and being happy with my music by far, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, can you tell us something about your composition process and the way you record your albums?
Yeah, it's not one process. Sometimes I start with, a guitar thing or maybe lyrics, and I just take that like a Lego block and I try to figure out what I can build from it. It's very playful, and I think as long as it's playful, I'm gonna have fun with it. So that's why.
And the translation of not the translation, and what is the process after you have the studio songs to present your songs with a band in concert? I think it will be very complicated. Transmitting to your band what is the correct way to play your songs.
That's the fun thing. Like the people I play with, they're good friends of mine and they know me. And for instance, I just send them the song, with a single instrument, and I don't even have to talk to my guitarist. He knows exactly what I will play and what he has to play. I mean, it sounds like it would be very difficult, but it's very easy because they're so competent. Yeah.
Um, to play live, what kind of a stage do you prefer? A big or medium festival, or a small venue?
It depends. Like, big festivals are fun, but there's the bigger the stage, the more there's a distance to the public.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love being in a small venue when everyone's like this and it's sweat is dripping from the ceiling. But I think I like a mix of the two, because if you always play this stage, it's gonna be it wears you down. It's a lot of work.
During the COVID isolation, have you changed your point of view about your music and your way of composition, or your inspirations?
Not really, because the way I compose is I lock myself in a room alone and I just work. It felt like during lockdown that other people are doing the same thing and they steal my routine. So it actually didn't change too much for me.
Oh,
Mhm.
it's interesting because many artists say that the isolation, the lockdown, have a big influence in her lives, and for me it's very nice to hear you, because in my case it's the same thing. The lockdown has not influence on my life.
Exactly. Yeah,
I'm,
it's fine.
yeah,
I really like being alone, so this is great.
uh, let's talk about your influences. Uh, what style and musician or artist have influences on you as music lover and as a musician? I don't know
um,
if for you is two different ways, or it's the same way, or it's the same way if you are a music lover or a professional musician.
I think first and foremost, I just like music. I love music. So if it's, classical music or, Stravinsky or Portishead, I don't care. As long as it makes me feel something, it's brilliant. And I guess I listen to a lot of noise music and ambient music, but not so much that I go insane, but I still enjoy it. Uh, um, yeah, a lot of jazz, a lot of music that I can only listen to for a short time because it's too intense. But also I enjoy, indie or, even some pop things. As long as I have an emotional response, it's good.
Okay, what would be your perfect lineup for a festival? If you can decide what will be the lineup.
I mean, funnily enough, in Spain, we're playing Mad Cool Festival, where it's going to be, I think, Idols, then us, then Phoebe Bridgers, and then Muse. It's such a weird combo that it's pretty great. I think, you know, I can only talk of, well, I guess Radiohead has to play, Portishead should have to play, they have to get back together and play also. It's hard to say. I think a great quality of a festival is being surprised. So I can't surprise myself, sadly.
Do you prefer festivals as Mad Cool, that is very, very heterodox, or another one as Rat Barn, that is more focused in heavy music, but intensive and experimental heavy music?
I like both, but I think like these unconventional festivals are great because, first of all, we'll play to people that wouldn't normally listen to us, and second of all, we get to see all these weird acts. So as a consumer and artists, I like the more eclectic festivals.
Okay, yeah, here in Spain, in the last years, some of the audience have the costume of talking during the musicians are playing, and this in a small venue is very, very uncomfortable. What do you think about?
That's, yeah, I mean, that's not what you come to a show for, you know. You can talk anywhere else, but luckily we're quite loud, so it doesn't happen to us. But I mean, I understand the need to communicate, but why did you go to a show in that case? It's strange.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the last question, how do you see Zeal Ardor in 10 years?
I don't know. And I think that's the fun part of it. I get to experiment every album, and to a certain degree, people want us to try new things, I think. So maybe we will be a gabber band, or I don't know what, mariachi metal, or just, I don't know. But I'm excited. I'm excited that I get to experiment more. Yeah.
Well, talking about a collaborative album with Zeal Ardor and another band, what one will be that?
Ooh, I guess maybe, of course, Björk would be fantastic. Maybe just a very, very bizarre jazz instrumentalist, or I'm open for everything. That's the thing. I think if anyone would ask me, I would be like, yes, let's do it. So yeah, it's hard. Do you have any suggestions?
Oh yes, I'm thinking on bands as Boris, the Japanese avant-garde metal.
The noise, the drum band, yes, yeah.
Yes, or even Mono with his conception of ambient music, or
That would be great, yeah.
Or a Spanish band called Tundra. If you don't know, they practice post-rock music, but in a very, very interesting way. This is not the boring post-rock songs, and
Not the crescendo core, yeah.
Boris maybe fit with your kind of music.
Yeah, they have a cool hood and everything. So.
Well, thanks for sharing your time with us.
Thanks for your time. And by the way, your English is perfect. You don't have to worry about that at all.
Oh no, man. I feel very, very nervous because I ever feel that the other person doesn't understand me.
No problem on my heart. It's just, yeah, it's just Zoom and acoustic. It's great. Yeah.
Uh, thank you, Manuel. Thank
Cheers,
you.
Tony. Have a lovely eating, man.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.